years of life that they ain't paying attention to the warning. Folks, it's time to pay attention to the warning. It's time to pay attention to what's going on. Because I'm going to tell you, if we don't pay attention to the warning, this is my last point. There is a consequence for disobeying God. Genesis 19:26. She disobeyed. She failed to heed the warning. God brought her out. He warned them, don't look back, don't reside in the vicinity. But what Genesis 19:26 tells us, but his wife looked back from behind him, and she become a pillar of salt. She lost it right then and there. She experienced the judgment of God. She died right then and there. She didn't have to die right then and there if she would just heed the warning. If people would heed the warning tonight, they don't have to miss the rapture. If people would heed the warning tonight, they don't have to go to hell. If people will heed the warning. The moment she looked back, she lost her life. Because her heart was, she was looking back towards Sodom and the things that was going on there. Just like Adam and Eve, the very moment they eaten of the forbidden fruit, they lost out. The consequences was brought forth. There's always a consequence for disobeying God. If you do not believe me, you can ask Adam and Eve. You can ask Achan when he stole from God. Ask Joshua, who did not pray and seek God. What happened to Israel that day? If Joshua would have prayed and sought God, God would have revealed the sin that was in the camp. Ask Lot's wife. Ask Judas Iscariot if you could. If you could talk to somebody in hell right now, ask them. People don't think there's no consequences. There's a consequence for disobeying God. Folks, it's time we get serious and get down and being business with God one more time. Let me tell you, he's going to hold the church up to a bigger we are held to a bigger standard. Judgment don't begin in the world. It begins where? In the house of God. Begins in the house of God. Folks, God meant what he said, and he said what he meant. People going around letting everything else to get their focus before the things of God. They ain't serving God fully like they need to. Sister, get ready to come to the piano if you can. People ain't serving God like they need to. People's heart ain't where it needs to be. I think what's happening, there's people that's turning and looking back a little bit. I don't want to glimpse back what I've left. I don't want to look back at my pain, the sorrow of the world. The past is the past. I got to press forward to the mark of the high calling of God. I've got something better to look forward to. How many know what I'm talking about? I've got something better to look forward. Everyone standing in here, every head bowed, eyes closed. I've got something to look forward to tonight. I've got something to look forward to tonight. Nancy Harmon sings a song I heard her sing on Jimmy Swaggart that goes something like this. I've come too far to look back. My feet have walked through the valley. I've climbed mountains, crossed river, desert places. I've known, but I'm nearing the home shore. The Redeemer rejoicing. Heaven's angels are singing. I've gone too far to look back. How true it is tonight. I want to ask you, where is your commitment to God at? Is it where it needs to be tonight? I want to ask you, how many is gone? How many needs to say, I've come too far to look back tonight? Lord, I'm nearing the home shore. Help me not to look back, but get me where you want me to go. let my eyes stay focused on you tonight? How many would say, let my eyes stay focused on you tonight? How many in here tonight would say, let me stay focused on you? I've gone too far. Is there others that would say, Lord, let me be where I need to be with you tonight? Is there others in here tonight would say, let me keep my focus. Don't let me look back, but let me serve you, Lord. Let me serve you like I need to serve you. Let me become dedicated like I needed to become dedicated. Let me become where I want to be. Make me the vessel of honor. How many would say that's me tonight? I want to invite you to this altar. How many want to be that vessel? Maybe there's somebody in here that's been looking back. You've come too far to look back. You've come too far to look back. You're nearing the home shore. Is there others in here that would say, Lord, here am I. Let me be focused on you. Don't let me heed what you say. Let me be obedient. Those that will, if you say, I want more of him, I want to invite you to these altars. It's time to get on fire for God. It's time to quit being, it's time to quit being indifferent. But it's time to march forward. It's time to put him holy. It's time to be faithful. To God, to get a greater degree of him. It's time to get down to business. Is there others? These altars are open. Let God be God in your life tonight.